Hey, what is up heroes, and welcome to my top 10 Pokemon fan games. Now these are the top 10 fan games I have played. There are still so many fan games out there I haven't played, so if you don't see a fan game you enjoy on this list, let me know in the comments down below. I would love to find a new fan game to play. Now every game I mention I really enjoy and think is worth a play, so in the description you will find a download link to all the fan games mentioned in this top 10, as well as their social media links, so you can keep up to date with the game. Now remember, this is my opinion. If I like something doesn't mean you have to as well. With that said, let's get started. At number 10, I have Pokemon Spectrum. In Pokemon Spectrum, you're a person in a little known region, living in the small town of Little Dune. However, an opportunity arises and you decide to go explore the region with all its native Pokemon that can't be found in other regions. There is an unknown world out there, with gyms and Pokemon trainers just like many other regions, along with myths and lore you must learn about for yourself. Can you catch them all, defeat them all, and rise to the top? That's the introduction of Pokemon Spectrum. If that hasn't got you hooked, I don't know what will. Pokemon Spectrum has 2 gyms currently and about 2 to 3 hours worth of content. The game is filled with Fakemon that look really good. I can see some of these being real Pokemon. The game's intro is awesome and feels really unique. Only things I don't like about this game is there's one path that just seemed to go on for ages. So many trainers had to run all the way back to a town just to heal up multiple times. The last being a Dragon type gym leader who has Dragon Rage early on. And even if I was over leveled, you would still get 2 shot from this thing. You had to pray it didn't go for Dragon Rage. And for me, I was very unlucky. I got killed so many times against this gym leader. But apart from that, this game is super fun and definitely worth a check. Number 9, we have Pokemon Mellow. Mellow Knight's story starts 15 years after Darkrai attack on the Orb of Order has failed. Zella is in a time of peace and a Pokemon League has been established. You're from Lilytown, a simple place where not much happens. That is, until one day a mysterious old man walks into town and says he recognizes you. You follow him into a forest and get attacked by a wild Pokemon. The man pulls you into his lab and introduces himself as Professor Oak. You receive a Pokemon to keep you safe. Later, when you return to the lab to thank Professor Oak, you find Oak missing, with a note that says peace has been broken once again. Pokemon Mellow is a gorgeous looking fan game. The story really grabs your attention. You're immediately thrown into this big mystery. The starter Pokemon for this game are really unique: Sneasel, Krogunk, or Natu. And a Mega Evolution is being planned for these, which is pretty awesome. The demo has 3 gyms and around 4 to 5 hours worth of content. The game has very nice pacing. I didn't feel bored at all playing this game. It's very fun to play. The story pretty much grabs you immediately. It's definitely worth checking out. Number 8, we have Pokemon Sage. Now Sage is an absolutely brilliant game. The intro is fantastic, the Fakemon looks stunning, the story from what I've played is very interesting, and the custom sprites and tiles look gorgeous. But why is it in 8th place if you think that, you're probably wondering? Well, the game only has 1 badge, which takes around 45 minutes to an hour. I love this game to bits, and maybe one day in the future, when this gets finished, or more content, we might see it higher on the list. But right now, it is at an 8th spot because it just gives a little taste of what's to come, and it's absolutely fantastic. But if you have an hour to kill, 100% you have to give this a go. Number 7, we have Legends of the Arena. Legends of the Arena isn't your typical Pokemon game where you get 8 badges, do the league and all that stuff. Legends of the Arena is actually pretty cool, as it starts off in your hometown. You and your little brother sign up for a competition where you two and a lot of other people will travel to different towns in the region, competing in tournaments to secure a spot for the next. As you go to town, the number of people will decrease. One thing I have to mention is the script for this game is absolutely fantastic. It is very well written and very funny. I was laughing so many times during this game. One thing I really wish though is the game had custom sprites. You play as the Diamond, Pearl, Platinum guy and your rival is Barry. This doesn't affect the gameplay at all, it's just something that I would like to see because it makes the game feel more like its own instead of just like a copy of Pokemon Diamond, Pearl and Platinum. Legends of the Arena is actually done in chapters, like each chapter will have its own set of events, which is really nice. There are about 6 chapters last time I played, there's lots of content here and it's a very fun game. I highly recommend checking it out. There's also a lot of side quests to do in this game. It is super fun and jam-packed full of action. At number 6, we have Pokemon Chaos. In Pokemon Chaos, usually new trainers will receive their first Pokemon at the age of 10 or 11. But 18 years ago, a suspected terrorist attack on Orbador City, I'm probably going to pronounce that wrong, the most populated cities in the region, almost destroyed a third of the region and claimed the lives of many innocents. As a result, the region was thrust into a state of emergency. The corrupt government passed many laws to keep the region and its people in check. This involved a complete region-wide lockdown, preventing anyone entering or leaving. The Pokemon League was eventually forced to increase the age that children could receive a starter Pokemon, reduce the number of trainers per year, and introduce a scheme for potential trainers that would test their ability as Pokemon trainers, their ability to defend themselves, and whether they could present a threat to the region. Pokemon Chaos currently has 3 gyms, and the pacing for this game just felt absolutely correct. You get about 2 to 3 hours worth of content, with a really cool story, and the towns look great. The game has a dual screen function, so you can actually use your mouse to click on some of the options, which is really neat. I really enjoyed playing through this game. The only thing I didn't like though was the third gym. The gym leader was fine, it's just the trainers in there were super annoying. I don't want to spoil anything, but when you play through it for yourself, you'll find out what I mean. But apart from that, the game is super fun. I really enjoyed the story, and one thing I have to mention I think is really awesome is the HMs. You get one HM in the demo, and once you get it, you get this cool little symbol on your arm, like almost like a tattoo. And one thing I think would be pretty awesome is if in the game, when you get all the HMs, like the more HMs you get, the more tattoos you get, and at the end you get like a sleeve of tattoos. Like, I think that would look pretty awesome, to be honest. That's pretty much Pokemon Chaos. I definitely recommend checking this game out, one of my favorites. Number 5, we have Pokemon Uranium. Pokemon Uranium is set in the Tandor region, a tropical region that is based on real life places such as Rio de Janeiro, Los Angeles, Venice, and more. The Tandor landscape has completely unique areas that set apart from existing Pokemon games. Now, where to begin with Uranium? Uranium has some very awesome Fakemon. The types and designs given are just super awesome. The game's story is really swell, and they introduce a new type, Nuclear type, which is so badass. This new type allows for some real and fake Pokemon to look nuclear, giving them a super awesome new design and typing, and maybe even a new evolution in there. I'm not going to spoil anything, but just saying, you might want to get Eevee and a nuclear type. It's pretty cool. The demo has 7 badges, lots of content for you guys to enjoy, and the region is just really fun to explore. Like, I love all the areas in this game. One little advice I would give to you if you decide to play this game is right before the 3rd gym, you get the option to explore a power plant. Make sure you do it, because I thought, oh, I'll get the gym badge first, then I'll go explore the power plant, and after I got the 3rd gym, it was like, well, nope, not going there now. Overall, Uranium is a super awesome, fun game, 100% deserves a play. Playing through, you will probably hate your rival when you start off, and I really did, but trust me, later on he gets a lot better. Also, Garlickid is my favorite and I love him. At number 4, we have Ethereal Gates. Ethereal Gates' story goes, legend tells of an ancient Pokemon with the ability to travel between the world of the living and the world of the dead. It said that long ago, our ancestors used to summon this Pokemon with a relic, and on rare occasions it would appear and bring one who had passed back to the land of the living. When the common people had heard of this great power, wars broke out over the want to bring the dead back. The monks who guard the relic decided that the power was too much for any to hold, and broke the relic into 4 parts. These fabled sites have become known as Ethereal Gates. You begin your journey in a rather unexpected way. You're dragged along by a friend with a bit too much of a passion for Pokemon research. But before long, you become enthralled with Pokemon as well. You begin working for the Pokemon Professor and completing his Pokedex project. To test your strength, you encounter gym challenges throughout the region. You also encounter the evil team, Mythos, whose nefarious plans just may put the entire world in jeopardy. Ethereal Gates is beautiful. Everything about this game is absolutely beautiful. The Fakemon starters are probably my favorite Fakemon starters in any fan game. The character designs look absolutely amazing, and the towns. Wow, the towns are just gorgeous. Ethereal Gates currently has 2 gyms for us to play, with a few side stories thrown in. This game is 100% something that every single Pokemon fan needs to play. Number 3, we have Pokemon Alabasta. Alabasta's story goes, the Nejo region is renowned for being home to many of the greatest minds in the world, with countless world-class trainers, scientists, and breeders. Regardless of their prospect careers, however, children growing up in the region are encouraged to go to school in order to learn and understand the relationship between people and Pokemon. Any who graduate before they turn 18 are allowed to roam the region as a trainer in order to gain an even stronger relationship and understanding with Pokemon. Once you turn 18, you generally have 3 options. The first is finding a job, the second is going to a specialized field of study, and the third is making a living as a trainer. Unravel the secrets about your past, uncover the true threat that looms in the Nejo region. Alabasta has a very, very interesting story, probably my favorite in fan games, to be honest. The game is quite hard though. I found it quite hard to train in certain places, but one thing that made me love this game so much is the multiple story choices. You can decide to work with the supposedly bad guys or not, do some side quests or not. The game just gives you this sense of freedom, and I love that. It makes nearly every playthrough super unique. It makes you want to boot up another new game just to explore the different choices. There's only 3 gyms, however, that is like 10 hours worth of content in this game. I really do love this game, but I more like it for the story. The gameplay is quite hard, but the story is just absolutely fantastic, and if you enjoy story over gameplay, this is definitely a game for you. Number 2, we have Pokemon Celestite. This game is set in the Adventure region, a land filled with an abundance of individuals who work to be the best trainer in the world. Do you have what it takes to become the best and make the choices necessary that might save the world from the growing threat of Team Shade? I really do love Pokemon Celestite. I think it's an absolutely fantastic game. It looks super nice, the variety of Pokemon is good, the story is amazing, and best of all, like Alabasta, you can choose sides. Playing through, I had to join the bad guys. It's just so much fun to play the bad guy once in a while. The game introduces a new Rotom form, and all I'm going to say is it's straight fire. The game currently has 3 badges and around 4 to 5 hours worth of content. 100% I recommend this game to everyone. It's something you have to play. It is super fun, it's my sense of humour, and it's just a really fun game to play through. Before we get to number 1, I just want to quickly do an honourable mention, and that is Pokemon Rejuvenation. I haven't finished this game, so that's why I don't want to put it on the top 10, but from the 2 hours I've played, this game is absolutely fantastic. The story so far is looking solid, the choice of starter Pokemon is insane, and the soundtrack for this game, oh my goodness, the soundtrack is just absolutely amazing. Probably has some of the best music in fan games ever from what I've heard so far. I absolutely love this music, and it's definitely worth a check. Number 1 is Pokemon Insurgence. Yes, Pokemon Insurgence is still my favourite fan game. This story is just absolutely insane. So many different evil cults, so much happening. It feels like a small action-packed story in between every gym where legendary Pokemon just appear and it's all out war. The game is super fun, the layout of the region is absolutely incredible. Absolutely enjoy this game to bits. The game has custom megas, which look amazing. I don't want to spoil the megas because there's some really nice surprises there. If you're really excited for Pokemon Sun and Moon, I highly recommend checking this game out because it will keep you entertained until the game releases. The reason I love Pokemon Insurgence is the story is absolutely great, the gameplay is fantastic, the range of Pokemon are awesome, the Delta Pokemon looks super sweet, the custom megas are awesome, the towns are amazing. Just everything about this game screams it should be a real Pokemon game. It is just so good. I really do enjoy this game, and hopefully you guys will download it, give it a go, because I honestly think this is the best fan game out there at the moment. So that is my top 10 Pokemon fan games. Hopefully you guys enjoyed, and hopefully you guys found a new fan game to play. If you think there's a fan game that should have been on this list, let me know in the comments down below, because like I said before, I would love to find some new Pokemon fan games to play, and maybe even update this list in the future. Thank you guys for watching, have a great day, peace.